Shit, you know what I'm saying? Like, just some social shit for everyone, you know what I'm saying? Like, I made this be myself, so hear me. Woo! I mean, like, we can put all that clown shit away. There's some real shit for you. I'm spazzing right now, so listen, let's go. Yeah. It's in their bones, the thugs in harmony for the love of the money. Then fall victim for the cookie, then turn pussy, it's lonely. You said you hold it down when life get rough, we're here now, so show me. We move them losses to them wins. Heavy pounds, we make it ends meet. Converse with only few who make me feel like I be 10 feet.
Yo, hey, big up John, man. Big up John every single time, man. Yo, timeless music, you know. Timeless music, man. That kind of stuff will never, ever fade, man. Big up everybody inside. We're back in the building. We're back in the building. Make sure you're, of course, you're doing the usuals, like, share, subscribe. You already know the vibes, man. You know the vibes. Guys, as you can see, we're here for a quick GTA. I was going to do this as a live, but I'll be honest, I couldn't really be bothered. And it wasn't really too much news when we're talking about Liverpool. So I didn't really want to long it out. But, of course, if anything breaking does, kind of happen, then, of course, what I mean, I'll jump in and then we'll do a show. So, a bit of things, a couple of things that have obviously just popped up, in the last couple of days, things that I've missed out on. Of course, not really been around over the last few days as well. We've had the, Liverpool first game, if you want to call it that, behind closed doors, a couple of the transfer stuff as well. So I'm just going to kind of dive into it. And of course, guys, make sure in the comment section, you let me know in regards to how you guys are feeling at this current moment in time. Of course, as we know, nothing's as the time of this video, 4:30 p.m., 21st of July. Liverpool ain't done nothing in terms of incomings. Done nothing. We've let a whole bunch of guys go for free. We tried to re-sign Adrian to a new deal. I understand the frustrations at this current moment in time. And before we head into everything, just speaking on that real quick, I get it. Do you know what I mean? I'm big up Ends and Savage. They did a call-in show the other day, and I voiced my opinion there, and I still feel the same. Like, I get it. I get why people be mad. I understand maybe from one side of things, people are like, or should I say, Liverpool or Slot, or whoever is even in charge. I don't even know at this football club anymore. They're looking at it thinking, yeah, he wants to come in, reassess the squad, etc., etc. See what players he needs, see what players he don't need, and blah blah blah. I see it that's a positive on one side, and then I can see the negative on the flip side. Just in regards to because I don't really know who's in charge. Surely you should know already. What the club kind of needs moving forward, unless you are genuinely happy. If everybody comes back, players come back off of loan. All the players stay, nobody else leaves in terms of the first team players. So maybe fringe players could potentially go, but nobody's going to hurt the first team. Then like maybe you don't care, maybe we don't need to sign someone, and all the noise that we've heard from the journalists and stuff like that, maybe it's just that, maybe it's just noise. So like I say, on one side, I'm like, I hear it. I totally see it from a Liverpool perspective in terms of maybe Slot or the team or whoever wants to just reassess the squad. But I can also understand the frustrations. Ultimately, we are watching others, go out there and sign players that we probably think could potentially come into this team and help improve this team. Me personally, I never thought the team was good enough. Yeah, do you know what I mean? So me looking at it, it obviously from that biased view is, of course, Liverpool need to improve. Like how many, I don't really know. Personally, probably like 5-6 players, but that would involve getting rid of, certain players, which I know Liverpool just won't really realistically go out there and do. But I definitely feel that Liverpool cannot, in my personal opinion, again, anything can happen, anything can change, as we already know. But I just don't feel that this team is good enough. I think it's quite mediocre, with a couple sprinkles of, good players dotted in and around there. And I don't really know how some of these good players, or quote unquote good players, are going to be next season. Do you know what I mean? It's not, I don't feel like the good players are on the up and up. I feel like they're either gonna just be the players they've always been, like the Salahs, the Trents, even him, the Alissons, the Virgil van Dijks, and people of that kind of ilk. And and the number isn't big, by the way. When I look at those kind of players, I'm like, they're not on an upwards trajectory. They're on a, you're just hoping that they're going to be the same player. If they're not, Liverpool are in big problems, real big problems. I mean, because there's not that many other good players left in the squad. Oh, let's take that back, actually. There are good players. There's not enough players who take you to the level that everybody's hoping that Liverpool will be, which is challenging and doing all of this other kind of stuff. So that's where I'm just at this current moment in time, which is why I would love to have some signings. Um, of course, I'm not the businessman. I'm not the guy who handles the finances over there. So I don't know what that kitty looks like. I don't know what they can spend. You know, when people ask you like, "Oh, who would you sign?" It's like, I don't know, because I don't know what the available budget is. It's not Football Manager. I can't just see it like, okay, I've got 100 million, so with 100 million, maybe I can slide. You can slide the scale and everything like that, and maybe take a bit off the way. I can't do that, so I don't know. I don't know if I say, okay, as like a wild example, I don't know. I want Frankie De Jong as an example, but he's going to cost me 80 million. I don't know. I might have 300 million, so 80 million might be a drop in the ocean. I don't know. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So it's just tricky with Liverpool. I just don't know what they're really working with. I know we've got our model. I know we've got the way that we like to do things and etc., which I totally understand. But doesn't mean I have to like it. But listen, it's the 21st of July. I remember when it was about the 1st of July, people were like, guys, man, you know what I mean? Calm it down. Like, still got time. 21st of July, still saying the same thing. We should know this though, but guys, like that's why I say just don't even stress it, people. I know everyone, people who are stressed, don't even stress it. I understand why you would be stressed, and I understand why there'll be a level of pessimism, behind all of this. Just don't even bother. Like, there's no point wasting your time. There really isn't no point wasting your time. What is the point? You're just gonna waste your time, be mad, be frustrated, and then all of a sudden, 2 signings in 2 days. Do you know what I mean? Then it's like, oh my god, X, Y, and Z. So yeah, man. I just think for the time being, for now, everybody just cool, just chill. Let's just wait. Yeah, I mean, I feel like if we're gonna have a meltdown, I feel like a universal meltdown will come the end of the window and we haven't signed anybody. That's when you can really. That's when I feel even the ones who, even if Liverpool win like all their games up until that point, you listen. I feel like that's a universal thing. That's a general consensus, because it doesn't even matter win or lose those games. It won't change the fact of what we still think we need. You get what I mean? Because again, you don't win the league in August, right? So yeah, I think it's just one of those things. For the time being, as I said, people, let's just chill. Let's just chill out, wait and see, and then we take it from there. But don't worry, guys. I'll be joining you if we don't sign anybody. Actually, it's not that I'll be joining you. It will just be more like it will just come in my prediction, in terms of where I think Liverpool will finish. Obviously, I don't want to give too much away, but yeah, that prediction will change if we don't sign anybody. So yeah, we'll just, of course, have to wait and see, man. But let's get into some of the news. Let's get into a few of the bits and bobs. So obviously, first up here, we've got Luis Diaz. Now, obviously, this is a player who, quite a lot of people have said that they wouldn't mind Luis Diaz leaving the football club. Um, you know, Up and down performances since he joined Liverpool, if I'm being totally honest with you, hasn't really, in my opinion, impressed enough for me to then say, yeah, I would love to keep this guy, and etc. etc. So I wouldn't be angry if he were to leave the football club, right? Yeah, I think that there's more than enough other wingers out there, especially left side, who I feel can, fill in that slot, under slot. So yeah, it's not going to kill me. It's really not going to kill me. I'd love to know what you guys think. If you just think, you know what, let's just keep him. Obviously, Ian Dole saying here, Liverpool would want around 75 million for Luis Diaz and would only sanction a sale once they had a replacement lined up. So we've heard so many varying reports in regards to, what we want, what we don't want. Are we signing this player? Are we signing that player? Etc. etc. And again, with this, I'm by no means saying that this is a certainty or this is a guarantee or anything like that. But it does look like if Liverpool can get that player that they are looking for on that left-hand side, then I think, yeah, Liverpool will generally go out there and say, you know what, let's go out there and sign this player. Let's go and sign this player, and then we can let Luis Diaz, finally leave. Now, we've heard his father and everything. His father's obviously been talking, talking the stuff for a very, very long time, which, listen, that's his agent. That's totally understandable and stuff like that. But yeah, man, I think it's just one of those catch-22s. No, that's a lie. It's not catch-22 for me, but it's a catch-22, I guess, for him and for Liverpool, because they won't realistically let him leave unless they get that kind of bid in. I don't know who, because I do not see Barcelona wanting to spend that much, considering someone like a Nico Williams, who probably has a way higher ceiling, and it's looking like he's on that kind of that same level as a Luis Diaz, is a lot younger, Spanish as well, helps them with any quotas they've got going on over there. Like that seems like, even if the wages are a lot more, I still feel like that's a better deal than signing a Luis Diaz for 75 million. That's why I think he would end up staying, because I just don't see anybody wanting to pay that. I don't think he's worth that, to be honest with you. I know we want to sell him for as much as humanly possible. Of course we do, because we don't want to lose out on any money. But I don't feel like he's worth that kind of money. So, excuse me, yeah. So, yeah, for me, I think he's just going to end up staying. Do I like it? Not really. Does it matter? Not really. Do you know what I mean? It's the battle of the meaties on that left hand side, as it is anyway, with Gakpo on that side. So yeah, man, we take that forward and we move on to the into the season and stuff like that. On to the next bit of news. Cool. So we've got Gonzalo Inacio. We've had this news for Jesus, I don't even know, for ages. Absolutely ages when it comes to someone like him. He's a good player. Good player. Obviously, centre back, wide centre back, whatever you want to call him, doesn't really matter. But of course, plays for Sporting Lisbon. I remember when we were linked, when we looked like we might potentially be getting a Ruben Amorim, everyone was like, yo, we got to get someone like Inacio. Even before that, to be fair. But when those links started to like intensify and stuff like that, everyone was like, yo, we got to get Inacio. Forget Inacio. That's it. It's game done with Ruben Amorim, who likes to play free at the back. Boom, 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 boom. All of that kind of, good stuff. Obviously, that didn't really happen. Now, obviously, he plays on that left-hand side, so everyone thinks that we're looking for a left-sided centre-back. I honestly don't know. I don't believe any of we're looking for a left-sided or right-sided. I just think we're looking for a centre-back. I don't think it actually matters if they're left or right-sided, to be honest with you, because obviously I've seen the links to like Mark Gay, and I feel like if Liverpool were to sign him, this is why the conversation around the whole centre-back thing is so joke to me, because like people spoke about the Lenny Euro thing. Oh, he's too young. If he comes in, what's that? And I was like, fairs, cool. So if you get Mark Gay, what would be the point? Because then you've still got Kanate, you've still got Kwanzaa there that everyone keeps talking about. Everyone, for some reason, has started to throw in Gomez as this extra centre back that nobody thought of as a centre back. But let's just throw him in there as well to make the numbers look like, they're bigger than they are, which always makes me laugh. Even though he hasn't played centre back for time. But yeah, everyone done, this is what everyone told me. Yeah, I'm saying, people listening to this is what everyone told you. Yeah, at least we've got better centre backs. We don't even need another one. So if you get Mark Gay, what happens to Kanate? You think Kanate is just going to be happy to chill on the bench? But you guys told me Kanate is the partner to Virgil. Like, I feel like logic never really applies at times when we talk about these things. I feel like we always think in our head, like, it's like we want one thing, and then when that one thing comes, we're like, no, I want something else. It's just weird, man. Honestly, it's just the way that I feel like fans, not even just Liverpool fans, just fans in general, the way that you people think is crazy. It's so crazy. You think Kanate is just calm, chilling on the bench, and then you also think that Mark Gay is just going to be calm, chilling on the bench, captain over there at Crystal Palace. Man's just going to come to Liverpool to sit on the bench. Liverpool ain't that. I'm not saying he won't, by the way. I'm not saying that he wouldn't. Obviously, Liverpool's a better club and a bigger club than a Crystal Palace, but it's going to take a lot of convincing. I think it'll be very difficult to convince him. I wouldn't really be that convinced. I'll keep it a buck. Again, I'm not Mark Gay. I'm not in his position. But if I just looked at it on the face of it, new manager coming at Crystal Palace, they were playing good football towards the back end of last season with that same manager. I know they've lost Elise at this moment, could potentially lose Eze. So that might change things a little bit in terms of his own thinking. But if they do lose someone like an Eze, would they then be willing to then also let Mark Gay go as well, the captain of the team? I don't know. Like it just seemed that that'd be a difficult thing. So yeah, that's the only one I'm like, I don't mind Mark Gay, and I also don't mind the competition if that's what we're going to have in the team. I just don't know if those said players want that same competition. What we want and what's realistic are two different things, and that's why I feel like we always get it wrong, because we want the competition. Of course we do. We want players fighting for different positions, etc. Guess what? Some players ain't looking for that. Kanate might not be looking, thinking, brother, I just had to fight with Saliba for the World Cup. Now I've basically lost my place. But I ain't fighting at Liverpool as well, when these times there was no one else bar Matic. Now Matic's gone. I should be the next one up. It becomes a bit difficult, man. But in regard to the whole Inacio stuff, again, this isn't guaranteed or anything like that. This is just a little bit of news. So I'm not rating the news in itself in terms of, yeah, this is guaranteed, blah, blah, blah. But it says here, Sporting Lisbon would reportedly be willing to open talks over Inacio with a fee of around 37.9 million. This is from CM Journal. Again, like I said, I'm not here to say that that's guaranteed, like that's nailed on. But it's quite interesting. I will say it that much. It is quite interesting to see that it looks like potentially he may finally be on the go. Would I want to sign him? Yeah, I wouldn't mind him, man. I really, really wouldn't mind him. Uh, yeah, just it would be just interesting to see if they'd move Virgil over to that right hand side. And that's the only thing I always think about is because we've got bare right sided centre backs anyway. So then you're gonna move Virgil over to that side on a place that's already crowded. It's a bit like signing another left winger without letting one go. It's just weird. It's just weird. So yeah, we'll wait and see, of course, on that one. But like I say, man, he's a decent player. He's definitely a decent player. I think I've done a player watch on him before. So yeah, guys, make sure you, of course, check that out. Let's move on to let's talk about this, man. We might as well. See, now we was talking about VVD. You get what I mean? Mr. El Capitan. El Capitan. So obviously there's been a lot of talk after the Euros. Was it after the England game? He spoke about, like his future, so to speak, in terms of, you know, Liverpool and the Netherlands and stuff like that, basically taking a look at everything, just kind of seeing, like checking out the landscape, so to speak, so that was kind of the thing with Virgil. And, he said some quotes and some people just totally just ran with it. I think that was the problem with this whole thing, is that people just ran with it, in terms of, yo, no, he said this, or no, he really means this, and too much, way too much, people. Do you know what I mean? I don't think Virgil was really going in ham in terms of, yeah, you know what, kind of looking like I want to leave Liverpool or whatever. I just think it was just one of those where it was just like, well, I'll just see what's going on. You know what I mean? I still got to get back to Liverpool. I still got to see what's popping. I mean, like the manager, we got this new meaty guy, this Barley dude. Like, do you know what I mean? There's so many different things that's kind of good. That's deep. But there's so many different things that's kind of going on, at Liverpool Football Club alone. After me just losing in a match for my national team where we're knocked out of the tournament. Yeah, you know what I mean? I'm already, tensions already, up here. So you still got to get back to Liverpool. And of course, not even just getting back to Liverpool, forget the new manager. It's also, what's going on with the club, though, in terms of which kind of direction are we heading in? What's your vision for the football club moving forward? Like I said, us as fans, we've got our own visions. Our vision is not the same as their vision. I can promise you that for free. It can never be. Do you know what I mean? Like, or there's only going to be one in like 1,000 people who are probably going to get that right as what the club are looking at. No idea what the club are looking at. I haven't got a clue as to how the club sees itself in 2 years, in 3 years, in 4 years. Obviously, I'm not in the boardroom, so I can't really tell. But sometimes you do get a little bit of a vibe. You do get that kind of feeling of, I feel like we're trying to build this team to do this, that, and the third. At the moment, I don't see that with Liverpool. I saw it before when Klopp, early years, you could see building. Then you get that Van Dijk signing or whatever, and you're like, boom, you're building the building blocks here. All right, and you've already got, okay, I see it, blah, blah. I can understand that. At the moment, I don't see it. Now, like I said, that could all change by the end of this summer. But in regards to Virgil van Dijk, it's from David Lynch. Van Dijk wants to sign a new contract at Liverpool. He has continually reiterated his love for Liverpool and pride over captaining the club. Sorry, Trent, you ain't going to captain for a little while, bro. You ain't going to be... If Van Dijk was to sign a new deal, which I would expect it to be about 2 to 3 years, 33, 36, give or take, just because I feel like they think he could probably play until that long. If he was to do that, Trent, you're talking another 3 years, Trent's 25, Trent will be closing in on like 29s and them thing there, 28s, 29s, and he ain't going to be captain of Liverpool. He might just want to bounce, but that's a conversation for another day. We're not going to talk about that today. But yeah, with Virgil, look, will there be a decline? We don't know. We don't know. Last season, it was really good for Liverpool. In a general sense, thought he was calm last season. Yeah, a couple games here and there, but overall, I thought Virgil van Dijk was calm. Am I seeing a decline? Maybe in certain areas, but not enough for me to really notice like that. There are certain things I've said, you don't do that like you used to. But yeah, other than they're not major things. They're not things at the moment that I'm worrying about. I just think that you do need to plan for the future, just because when players are of this kind of age, this ain't like a Ronaldo situation where, he was a high-flying winger. I can just put him up front. He can just chill there. This ain't that kind of situation, bro. You play centre back. So I promise you, man, are coming after you. Do you know what I mean? Those attackers are going to try and, hit you up all the time. So Liverpool, you just have to play it safe. I think this would be the season, and it's so peak because his contract ends next season. They needed his deal to end in 2 years because I think that then they would look at it and think, we're going to wait until the end of this season and then see Wagwan. that's because they're going to be 34. Let's see if he's entering into some kind of decline now because he hasn't shown it just as of yet. But at least then, cool. But obviously now it's happened maybe a year, a bit too early for them. I think maybe they're going to potentially just look at it and think, let's just sign him to a new deal, contract extension potentially, maybe same way. And I don't know how much his wages are now. Maybe they might up it a little bit. But I've heard, news today that was it Al Nassr? They came in for a bid for him, apparently, for like a massive bid. Apparently, Liverpool rebuffed that. So who knows? Do you know what I mean? Who knows, man? I think again, like I say, man, the landscape could potentially change. In the next couple of weeks and months. But like I said, I feel like with players like him, the Trents, the Salahs and Allisons and people of that kind of ilk, I think with them, it's more about where are we going, bro? You know what I mean? What are we doing? You feel me? Like, are we heading somewhere? Are we doing something? Is this leading to something big? Because if it's not, then we might as well just miss me with all that stuff. You get me? So yeah, I think that's just where it's at with someone like a Virgil. Next up, we had Tyler Morton. Tyler. Now, obviously, this is a player who's been out on loan, been at 2 clubs. So he's been at Blackburn, and then most recently he's been at Hull. Some of the reports that people have been telling me in regards to Tyler Morton said he played fairly decent out there, for Hull City. Me personally, listen, good on him, man. Good on him. Apparently, LFC ready to accept a £20 million offer for the 21-year-old midfielder. Interest from European clubs like Sevilla, RB Leipzig, Frankfurt indicates that a bidding war could be on the horizon. Listen, big up to Tyler Morton for all of that. I hear all of that, but hear what I'm saying. Liverpool just need to cash that, and they need to cash that quick. Like, I haven't seen or heard enough for me to be, and I'll be honest, I think I watched. It was when Fabio Carvalho came, so maybe about 2 games. 2 games this season. The rest have just been highlights, reports, and feedback and stuff like that. So that's me just being super honest with you guys. That's just been what I've seen. But in a general sense, I haven't, even from doing like the reports on him, checking out the highlights and stuff like that, still haven't really seen anything. Considering he's been out on loan for a couple of seasons now. Been down at that championship level. I feel like that's a really good level for him, though. Like, I feel like you stay there for like 2 more years potentially. Ooh, you could be, you know what I mean? Like, you could really step it up. Liverpool, nah, I'm all right, man. Like, I'm totally all right. I think Liverpool cash in ASAP. Let's get this business rolling, man. Like, yeah, I mean, I think people are like, nah, man, he should come back in and do what? Bro, drop me out, man. I'm not having that debate with anybody. Like, my own opinion again, of course. But yeah, like, if you're really telling me Tyler Morton, yeah, I can see where your head is at straight away with that one. Anyway, let's move on to the last thing, the most funniest out of all of them, and that is Liverpool's behind closed door friendly against Preston. So Liverpool lost that game 1-0. Obviously, our first game in the pre-season. There isn't really much to really go on. Like I said, it's one of those ones where it's funny. Yeah, I chatted to big up Jimbo, who was chatting, and like, it's just a fitness workout. It was like, that's the way that people kind of saw it, man. You can see here anyway, in terms of the squad. To be fair, this was actually kind of interesting. The players that they did have out. So in that first half, Yaros, Bradley, Vandenberg, Kwanzaa, Simicas, Jones, Elliott, Zabozalai, Endo coming on in the 33rd minute. Doak, Salah, Carvalho, very, very strong. Second half, we had Davis, Stevenson, Nalo, Phillips, Chambers, Owen Beck coming on, Endo, Nyoni, Bajcetic, Morton, McConnell, Kumas, Blair, and Gordon. So second half, yeah, that was a youngish young team. A couple of fringe players as well, with Bajcetic in there, Endo, of course, in there. Tyler Morton, of course, as we just spoke about, and then obviously dotted around with a lot of the other like youth players. But that first half, I was like, "Eesh, all right, cool." So first half, we conceded a goal, good goal by Preston, by the way, good goal. Honestly, listen, guys, it's probably best that someone else tells you about this game, because there was nothing for me to even really remotely talk about in this game. Like I said, for me, it was just seen purely for fitness purposes. There was nothing to like, nothing to dislike. It was just to see. Honestly, I was just more interested to see what Salah looked like with his hairdo, and that was about it. There was nothing else. Yeah, it's difficult. I mean, like, guy, you can watch the game for yourself. I believe it's on Liverpool website, I think. But the highlights are obviously they're flying around in other places. By Techic, ain't seen him play for time. It was like one of those games. You're like, oh, Ryan seen my man for time. Oh, okay, cool. Let's see what he's saying. Boom, 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 boom. That's about it. There wasn't really anything else. Like, I've heard people talk about, yeah, this player was doing this, and I said, bro, it wasn't even like that. It actually wasn't like that. We're playing against a Preston team who was shit. Our team is still coming back from, still really entering into preseason. That's again, like I said, behind closed door friendly. So there's nothing to really go on, honestly, people. Like I say, purely for fitness. So don't worry about the result. Of course, it sucks. I don't want to be losing any behind closed door friendlies anyway. But for me, yeah, it was just nothing. Let's wait until the tour. Then we can potentially start seeing, a few things, players coming back as well. And I think, yeah, it'll be pretty interesting, man. It should be pretty interesting. But guys, that is the end of GTA. Guys, please make sure tomorrow I will be dropping the pilot episode of my Euro Club fourfold. This is what we've got in store for you guys. It's last season. I definitely was looking at that fourth spot. If I'm being honest, if I'm looking at it now, considering Brest were able to finish in third, Lyon definitely could have, pushed themselves up, further in that league had they had, these kind of players, and also being able to actually sign, more players and, spend a bit more money. They were really, really hampered, hands tied, behind their backs kind of vibe. So it was really, really peak for them. They've obviously got a player to watch who I really, really like. I'm still kind of shocked that he hasn't made that move yet, but that might be coming, etc., etc. Who knows? And that's obviously Ray and Cherky. So yeah, man, that is coming for you guys tomorrow. And then I'm hopefully going to be dropping that every single Monday. Try and get some guests on as well. But of course, you'll find out more in tomorrow's pilot episode. Make sure you guys, of course, smash that like, you share, and subscribe to the damn channel, people. I'll catch you on the flip side. Peace.